one of the things to understand is, why do these opportunities keep coming up? I mean, after all, we're talking about it, the history here, there's lots of books written about it. And partly it's because an existing company gets locked into a set of interlocking agreements with itself. How do they make money? How do they treat their customers? How do they build products? What the pressure on the system is. Usually, the only way such a company can change is if the founder, not the CEO, but the founder comes in and pushes the hammer. Usually, it takes either a major calamity like bankruptcy or something huge like that, or a bad ruling or something, to force a change culturally. Humans like to continue working on whatever they're working on at the pace they have been. Part of the job of being a CEO is to understand this and to understand where to put the pressure. And there's a certain amount of physical limits that we all have.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about where all this talent is trying to go. Obviously, AI. Do you think we're in an AI bubble?
I do not. I actually think AI is undervalued, underappreciated, not overappreciated. Um, Dario Amodei made an argument that I'll summarize a couple months ago, that the AI industry is governed by scaling laws. And the first scaling law is the scaling law involving deep learning, where if you add more essentially hardware, networking, and so forth, you get these discoveries. The scaling law is what brought us ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude 3, and there's more room to go there. We have not found the limit of that scaling law. There are two more coming. One is involving reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is where you go forward and back, and you sort of come up with plans. So think of it as planning. And the best examples here would be OpenAI O3 and DeepSeek R1. There's a couple more coming. And they do it remarkably well. They're quite shocking when you look at them. And the third is called test time compute. And what happens there is the model is learning as it's going. It's just at its infancy. So until we see those arcs begin to slow, and it's easy to say they'll slow in 6 months, but nobody knows. And they've not slowed yet. Now, we may run out of important things like electricity, right? So there's some real physical limits coming. But if you look at, for example, the NVIDIA announcements recently of the GB300, it's just extraordinary. The AMD product, the 350 that they just launched, is, again, you understand this better than I, is extraordinarily good. Trainium is very good. The new TPU, I think it's the 5D chip out of Google, similarly optimized. There's still a lot of room for hardware improvements and software improvements for AI to begin to help us with business process and reasoning and invention. And I'm not even talking about the discoveries in science, which are profound, AlphaFold, things like that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.